Hi, I'm Kim,
And I'm Poncho,
and this is Now That You See It,
the show about the ideas hiding in plain sight,
the patterns underneath the patterns.
the stuff that quietly runs your life,
These are the conversations you can't stop thinking about
and that you can't wait to send to a friend.
because once you see it,
You can't unsee it. All right,
okay.
shortisode number 4. It's punchy
Woohoo!
o'clock.
Punchy o'clock. Okay, wait. I am so excited personally for the end of this episode, which
Yep.
I have not yet experienced because we just discovered that we have some beef that we're gonna have to talk about in terms of sorting out whether this thing that I said is the best advice. You said no, that's the worst advice, and I have to figure out
Right.
why you think it's the worst advice. I cannot wait. So stick around for the
Yeah.
end.
So
Okay.
that is the shortisode's theme is what's the best advice we've ever gotten? What's the worst advice we've ever gotten? And in talking about those things, yeah, you brought up one other contender and you said, yeah, that's the best advice. And right like as you were saying, that's the best advice, I was saying that's the worst advice. So yeah, this will be fun.
All
Okay.
right.
So
For
Kim,
you. No,
oh,
no, no.
me,
I went
I'm
first
going
last time.
first. Okay.
Yeah.
Worst advice I've ever gotten. Um, Worst advice I've ever gotten is play hard to get. I think it's absolute bullshit, right? Um, in relationships, and not in just I mean, obviously, this is like romantic relationship material, but in any relationship, if you show up as something other than what you are, you don't have a relationship
Yeah.
because the other person is now relating with a lie.
Yeah.
They don't get to relate with you, right? That is fundamentally what a relationship is like two people relating with each other in a certain way under a mutually agreed upon context. So um it's like very similar to the like what happens now in like our dystopian modern day emailing culture where like you'll have AI write an email on your behalf and then they'll have AI write an email on their behalf and then it's not you communicating with them, it's just like your AI talking to their AI.
That's so
Um
dystopia. You're right. Yeah.
so that's what happens when you're playing hard to get is they're talking to a made up version of you that is less available than or less excited about them than you actually are. Um, Taking like zooming out and just kind of taking that as like what's wrong with that in a way that's applicable to anybody. It's if you don't show up and communicate in a way that's true, the relationship is inherently unhealthy. So that's true for romantic relationships. It's true for your friendships. It's true for your business communication. You have to show up as yourself and say what's true. And if you don't do that, it's already off on like the wrong foot. Like there's so much. It's like gross. Like they feel it. They can tell that you're not like really showing up as you are, and then you have to manage this weird like dynamic where you're like you've got pretense going on. So
Yeah.
worst advice I've ever gotten is play hard to get.
I have to say, I have like an allergic reaction to the hard to get, like when you can smell it. But even like in a sales sense,
Huh?
I was making some appointment for something and like interviewing professionals. And this one place was like, okay, well, you're gonna have to confirm your appointment because things move quickly around here. And I was like, I'm sure they do. Also, like, I don't do sales pressure, like at all.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
totally.
no, I don't want you at all.
Yeah,
And then like the email I got follow up was just like, act now. I was like, I won't.
yeah.
I will not. Thank you.
Any
It's
sort of
it
like
does.
sales tactics to get you hooked or pressure you to act. So gross.
I know that's what everybody says to do, but it just I can feel when it doesn't feel right and
Mhm,
when it's a tactic and like when they're playing hard to get. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Instagram reels with like something super ridiculous or hyperbolic happening in the first 5 seconds to get you hooked. Same thing. Just like, no, just
Mm,
because you did that, like you might have had something worth sharing. You might have had something
uh,
interesting to say, but because you like smashed an egg on your head and that's how you started the video, or because you like destroyed an iPhone with a sledgehammer, I'm immediately not paying attention to this because
mhm,
that's dumb. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
hate it. Anyway. What
Hate it.
about you?
Okay, worst
Worst advice?
is I gotta say this advice probably works for a lot of people. It didn't work for me because I took it too literally and
Mm,
burnout happened, but it was success is like wrestling a gorilla. You don't stop when you're tired, you stop when the gorilla is tired. And and I like posted that thing on multiple cork boards at multiple jobs and I was like, this is it. This is my mission. I'm gonna fucking wrestle that gorilla to the ground. Like I am going to keep going. Nothing will stop me. And yeah, I mean, like it turns out when the gorilla is capitalism, it doesn't get tired. It like gets more energy from wrestling you. It's like a pig in mud. It loves it. Seven-headed Hydra grows another head when you chop one off. Like it just, or it grows two back where you chop one off. It loves this. And I think I realized like, oh, I mean, there is a way to keep going in the sense of like we're sort of all part of the capitalist system.
mm,
But it wasn't sort of blindly and naively just like trying harder at the same thing. So
yeah.
like I needed to learn some nuance. However, it was the advice that I like when you said what's the worst advice, I was like, it just was not good for me at the time of my life, but it really like
Yeah.
it was like the flag I bore on the way down the burnout hole of like, here we go. I'm going. I'm fighting. And it was things like I had a I had a really like toxic boss that I was like, I will win you over. Like I will figure this out. I will figure out how you will like and trust me. And that
Uh,
wasn't going to happen because she wasn't a healthy individual and like had had motives that like I couldn't even contemplate. Like it just wasn't on my radar. Was
yeah.
willing to do things, and it happened to so many people. Like I was one of many people. This job, people passed around a book called How to Work for a Narcissist. This is like a known fact.
Uh,
This is also a job that employed somebody for whom her staff needed how to work for a narcissist. So anyway, I didn't know that at the time. That book was after me, but she stayed employed. And I just tried to like, I'll try harder. I'll try harder. I'll try harder. I'll try harder. So that carried over into like running the COVID data and, governor said like, it's nuts. But I was like,
mm,
I'll just keep trying harder.
yeah.
Wrestle that gorilla. And that
Mm,
gorilla never got tired, but I sure did. So
cool.
that was my
Uh,
worst advice. Yeah.
so two things on that. One, after the call, you can tell me this lady's name and I can message her on LinkedIn and be like, hey, this is required reading for your employees. They share this book with one another in case you didn't know.
I love that. I love that. She will
So
not give a fuck.
great. So that's
Because that's what
one.
happens.
Two, can you say the phrase again? Success is
Like wrestling a gorilla. You don't quit when the gorilla's tired. You you don't quit when you're tired, you quit when the gorilla's tired.
yeah. The other thing that I'm wondering about that is how do you define success?
Yeah.
Like that's a it's a neat metaphor, but that makes like that carry it's like carrying assumptions about what success is into the advice.
Yeah.
What's the
I
definition of
was
success that wrestling the gorilla until it gets tired gets you?
I was reading, like at that time in my life, I was reading a lot of like Andy Grove, 0 to 1, like tech startup stuff of being
Yeah.
like, work, work, just keep working.
Yeah.
It's hard. Mark Andreessen. Like I was
Mhm.
just in that mode and like, go. I didn't have kids. Like I was moving and just like former like high level athlete, just like there's
Yeah.
no, you don't listen to your body. Pain signals are misinformation. Just go, 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 go. And like, this is what you do. You, it's hard work. You just work hard. Um, and so I think it's success is like in those books, it's like you build a company, you make a thing work, you deliver a product that people can use. And I was doing that. I was delivering analytic systems and stuff. Um, but I needed the nuance. I need to learn nuance and subtlety about like, yeah, you're right. What is success? Because it was, it didn't, it didn't feel successful, I think, to the people around me or to me.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Flip side,
Yeah.
best advice. What's your best advice?
Best advice. Yeah, best advice I've ever gotten. And again, it it comes from like very early on in life. And when it was given to me, it was about relationships, like 17-year-old Poncho learning how to, you know, do something that's a semblance of a healthy, like barely a semblance of a healthy adult relationship. But the advice I got is maybe it's just not the right time.
Mm.
And so I was dating a girl who was a year older than me. She was a senior in high school. I was a junior. She was going to graduate. Maybe she was going to go off to college. And in my 17-year-old brain, I was like, no, this is the person that I'm supposed to do life with, and she's about to leave. Like, how do we make it work? And I was essentially trying to, well, one, coming back to something we talk about often, is I was trying to avoid the emotional experience of the breakup by trying to intellectually like solve the problem that was more just logistical and possibly inevitable, which is she's going to move away. And as an 18-year-old, this relationship won't survive. She's going to college. And so it was actually her dad who sat me down and I was like, yeah, like sometimes it's just not the right time, man. Like it could be the right person, it could be the right job, it could be the right situation, whatever shape that situation takes. But if it's not the right time, it just won't work.
My God. I gotta tell you, I have resisted that lesson so hard for so many people, like relationship wise, of like, don't fucking tell me it's not the right time. Mm-mm. And because it's like, I remember somebody sending me a meme of it's like somebody walking in with a beautiful birthday cake for you, the one you've like always dreamed of, but you're like pooping on the toilet. You're like, it's not the right time. Timing matters.
It's not the right time. Holy shit. Yeah.
Is that great?
Absolutely. Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Punchy o'clock.
Totally. Yeah. And I can think of multiple people who like we were kind of like eyeballing each other at a certain point in our lives, but I definitely wasn't ready to be in a relationship with that person and they weren't the person that they are now. And were we both hypothetically single and like ran into each other today, oh, there might be a lot of compatibility there.
Yeah.
But But at the time when we were both single and we were actually in a position to do something with that, it wasn't the right time and it would have been a really bad idea. And so it, like, it carries a lot of truth. Like,
Yeah.
and at the same time, another part of my brain is like, yeah, but that's nonsensical. Like, you're thinking about hypotheticals that aren't true.
Yeah.
But for somebody who is trying to like jam a square peg into a round hole, it's not the right time can be exactly what they need to hear.
Yeah. Ugh, it's so hard though. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give
You
quickly my best advice and then I want to talk about our
okay.
controversy. Um, Best advice for me is do it scared because I tend to not. I tend to see fear as like information that I should not be doing something.
Mm,
Um, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it's like, no, this is just anxiety. This is just like old stuff that doesn't really like relate. And the only way you're gonna learn is if you try it. Um, like with the appropriate research caveats on that. But like I tend to overthink, over research, over intellectualize under mess, under experience. And so
mm,
that's been the like, just because you're scared isn't a good enough reason to not try it. If it's
yeah,
aligned with like what you who you eventually want to be, what you eventually want to do, or just like a cool thing,
yeah,
try it out. That's been pretty powerful for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That makes there. I can think of immediately off the top of my head umpteen things that I would have never done had I not just done them scared.
Yeah. And like if sometimes for my kids, I have to be like, you gotta do it tired. Like you gotta go to school tired. You gotta go
Mhm,
to school a little sick sometimes. Or like just you gotta do it uncomfortable.
mhm,
That's different from what I'm talking about because
mm,
that's the like the gorilla thing of like, just keep going, even if you feel like crap. This is the like the voice that says, no, stop. Can carry important information, however, is not always the one that should be driving the bus in all
yeah,
scenarios. Like it's just incomplete. So okay,
cool.
I'm gonna talk.
All
I'm gonna
right.
talk about
So
best and worst.
bonus round. Bonus
Oh,
round.
God.
the thing that you were like, maybe this is the best advice I've ever gotten.
I cannot believe you think this. I'm so curious. Not that, like,
Yeah.
you're wrong, but, like, what is the angle?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
take it
yeah.
personally.
Don't take it personally. Why is that the best advice you've ever gotten?
Oh my god, main character syndrome. Like, you just never know what's going on for other people, what's behind it, and, like, centering yourself in this whole thing takes away from, like, the message of whatever needs to happen. Like, when somebody's cranky, when they're, like, shouty at you, or, like, "Oh, yeah, you messed up," and they're, like, mad.
Yeah.
Swirling that is just, like, counterproductive. Or the, like, they're out to get me. Everybody everybody is, like, wants to make me look bad. Or it's just, like, when you really think you know why people are doing something and it has something to do with you, it's just, like, a great sign to be like, "You're like, go check with other people. There might be other stories there." Like, "And what else?" My favorite coaching question. "And what else?" Like, what else is there?
Yeah.
Like, the taking it personally thing is just so easy for a human brain that wants to find risk and, like, not be excommunicated from the tribe and da da da, but, like, I have found that it is, like, a quick way to emotional dysregulation and, like, actually missing the point of what does need to change, whatever it is. It's like one of the 4 commitments is don't take things personally. And when I read that, I was like, "Yeah, that's gonna help me a lot." Okay, what's
Mhm.
your take?
And in that context, I don't disagree with you. I'm a big fan of the book, The Four Commitments. Um, the the way in which I think it's terrible advice is when someone says something that's extremely insensitive
Oh, yeah.
and it applies to you. So like let's say somebody makes a like an offhanded joke about lesbians or like gay people. And they're like, "What? Whatever. I'm just joking. Don't take it personally." Like, no, fuck that. I take that personally. That is
Yeah,
offensive, right? So
yeah,
so it's almost like this is different advice. Like it's either excellent advice or terrible advice depending on who's hearing it.
yeah.
If you are somebody that's really quick to anger and really quick to making it about yourself, especially in situations where you don't have a lot of certainty about the other person and why they behaved a certain way, maybe this is it. If you are taking other people's actions personally and they don't necessarily have anything to do with you, that's where don't take it personally could be a good piece of advice. But when somebody is directly negatively impacting you in some way, and you are somebody who is shy, like doesn't like to rock the boat, doesn't, like is conflict avoidant, has a hard time setting boundaries or saying no, then absolutely take it personally and notice what it would take for you to stand up for yourself. So I was just joking. Don't take it personally is an excellent opportunity to take it personally when they've said something that's directly, like that does violence to you in some way. And it doesn't need to be physical violence. It could still be violent without physical violence. Another opportunity to take it personally is the idea that you should leave your personal life at the door when you go to work, and that the things that happen at work are happening to some like professional alter ego version of you. And so, like, when you are dismissed out of hand or you're not allowed to say your piece in a meeting, and they're like, "Don't take it personally. It's just like it's just office politics or it's just whatever." Like, no, you disrespected me, and I am a person that doesn't like being disrespected. So I think those are the kinds of scenarios where don't take it personally is kind of
Robs
encouraging
you of your
somebody.
dignity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it encourages somebody to like give up their power.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. Glad we
cool.
resolved this
All right.
controversy. All right, we did it.
Dang
About
it,
20
we're
minutes.
we're 10 seconds over the 20-minute mark.
Edit it out, edit it out. You can do it. Power.
All right. Shortest
All
of
right.
high five.
Sure as
High five. Peace out.
Night night.